Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about the new Chanel 2020 holiday makeup collection, which is currently available at some Chanel boutiques. So in case you're a Chanel lover, make sure to call your Chanel consultant because they might have a nice surprise for you. And in this video, I'm going to show you the new illuminating blush powder and the 4 mono eyeshadows from the holiday 2020 makeup collection. Since I didn't have time to try the product, they just arrived. I'm going to show you swatches and I'm going to try them for the first time. So this is going to be a first impression video, and then I'm going to do a full review of this collection once I get the chance to play with the products and to try them more properly. If that's your first time on this channel, a very warm welcome. I'm Angela and I love talking about luxury beauty and fragrances. Please consider subscribing and don't forget to turn the notification bell on so that you don't miss any future videos. Also check out my blog at angelavanrose.com. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I was very surprised this year by the marketing campaign of Chanel because they keep releasing their makeup collections so early. It's still September and we already have the holiday makeup collection. I suppose that this is because a lot of the Chanel lovers were annoyed by the perseverance of Lucia Pica to play with the color red. For the fall makeup collection, Lucia Pica created 2 eyeshadow quads that contained reddish colors. And these colors were not that easy to wear for a lot of people. A lot of the Chanel lovers decided to skip this collection. So that's why I think that Chanel now are doing this unexpected move by releasing the holiday makeup collection in September. So I'm very curious to see how the luxury beauty community is going to react to this new holiday makeup collection. So make sure to leave me a comment. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this holiday makeup collection. Are you interested? And do you think this collection is better than the fall makeup collection? And are you planning to purchase any pieces from this collection? Without doubt, the star of Chanel's holiday 2020 makeup collection is the illuminating blush, Les Chaînes de Chanel, which translates as the chains of Chanel. And we are seeing this chain design all over the illuminating blush powder and also the 4 mono eyeshadows, which looks quite interesting. And I think that the illuminating blush powder is definitely going to be a collectible piece for a lot of Chanel lovers. I think that by looking at the color, I think that probably this color is going to be very suitable for someone who has medium skin tone to deeper skin tone. I don't know how this is going to look on fair skin like mine, but we're going to see today. And also one of the eyeshadows, the one that I'm most interested in, 927, is the copper rose color. Looks quite similar to the illuminating blush powder. Now, I suppose that the illuminating blush powder is probably going to look very beautiful on the eyes as well, but we are going to see. This is 927 and this is the illuminating blush powder. They're not exactly the same, but they look a bit similar. Okay guys, so I have a very light base and all of the products that I used on my face are going to be in the description box. Now let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to create a makeup look using the products from this collection, and I think I'm going to start with the copper rose color, which is 927. I think that this is the color that most people are going to be interested in because it's the most interesting color. I'm going to use a double-ended Chanel brush and let's see how this is going to look on my eye. And I want to use a brush just to see how intense are going to be the eyeshadows, but now I was very surprised that we didn't get a Les Quatre Ombres. Okay, so as you can see, when I'm using a brush, and I'm using a quite dense brush, the pigmentation is not great. Maybe I should dip a little bit more. So using a brush, I'm not getting much color. I'm not getting a lot of color. So you can see that the colors are actually a bit sheer. So this is my first impression. So now I'm definitely going to do a full review of this collection, so be sure to subscribe and turn the notification bell on, because in a couple of days, once I get the chance to try all of the products and to play with them for a few days, I'm going to do a full review of this collection. But these are just my first impressions, so using a brush I'm not getting great color payoff. So it's nothing like too crazy, but with Chanel eyeshadows they are usually very subtle, but these are more sheer than I expected. I expected that they are going to be actually that the color is going to be a lot more pigmented. Okay, so this is what I get. So this is what I get using only a brush. And I'm sure that if I use fingers, definitely I'm going to get a lot more color. But I want to use a brush just to test how the colors are going to look. And now I'm going to be using the darkest color of the mono eyeshadows in the outer part of my crease. Just going to load the brush. And I want to just deepen the color a little bit. Looks like this one is a lot more intense. Yeah, this shade is definitely a lot more intense. So I'm just now testing the colors and I want to have a general feel of how the colors are going to look. I'm just going to clean the brush and blend now everything. Now I'm going to take Or Blanc and I'm going to apply it in the inner corners of my eyes. Okay, so because I want to get a little bit more intense color, I'm going to use my finger now and I'm just going to tap with my finger because I want to have more intense copper color just to see how this is going. And immediately it becomes a lot more intense, but in general it is very... The colors are quite light and illuminating. They're not very densely pigmented. I don't see like a very dense pigmentation, but I think that actually the Chanel lovers are going to enjoy this kind of eyeshadows. Okay guys, and this is the look that I created so far. I only applied the darkest mono eyeshadow on my lower lash line and that's it. I finished off with mascara and a touch of black liquid eyeliner only on the outer part of my eye. And this is what I have. Now let's go ahead and try the illuminating blush powder and then I'm going to give you my overall first impressions of this collection. Okay, time to see how this is going to work on my skin. And unfortunately, all of the eyeshadows were quite ruined when I started using them with a brush. So I know that a lot of the Chanel lovers love to keep the design and the patterns. They are going to be ruined with the first use. I'm going to show you in a minute. So let me go ahead and see how this is going to look. Unfortunately, also this is starting to... I'm ruining it immediately after. Okay, so it looks surprisingly good, I think. It gives me just a flush of rosy color on my cheeks, so I was not right. Obviously, this is going to be suitable for all skin tones, I think. So if you're light-handed, you can definitely use this, probably because it's an illuminating blush powder. Okay, I think this is going to be enough for me. If I go any further with the blush, it's going to look too much, and I think that for now this is just fine. So you can see that this is really illuminating blush powder. It doesn't emphasize texture. So I'm quite happy with the way the illuminating blush powder looks on my fair skin. I was thinking that this was not going to look good because I have fair skin and this looked quite dark in the pan. But it's definitely a blush. And since I don't have any lipsticks from this new makeup collection, I'm going to be using one of my favorite lipsticks. And this is Royal Highness by House of Siage. I'm going to be using also one of my favorite lipstick cases, which is Whispers of Truth. And the color that I'm choosing is Royal Highness for the lips because I feel like wearing something red, but not exactly, it's not exactly red. It has a little bit of kind of a strawberry pink and red, so I think this is gonna pair nicely with the look. Okay, so I think that this lip color goes really well with this look. I really love these lipsticks. I'm like addicted to them. They are so beautiful. And I think that this lip color pairs very nicely with the whole look. Now I'm going to give you my overall assessment of this makeup collection, and this is only first impression. So I need to use the collection for a few days before giving you a full review of the collection. So overall, I must say that I'm quite happy with the collection. My first impressions is that the collection is good. I think that the colors are very suitable for different skin tones. Now, one thing that I need to warn you is that immediately after the very first use, the patterns of the eyeshadows were destroyed a little bit. So I can imagine that with the second use, I don't know if the camera is going to show that, but the patterns are almost like not destroyed, but the patterns are going to be easily destroyed. So for those of you, I know that for a lot of Chanel lovers, the patterns are very important and they love to keep the patterns. If you start using the products, you're actually not going to be able to keep the patterns because they are going to be ruined quite easily. The design is going to be ruined quite easily. But what's more important is how actually the eyeshadows and the illuminating blush powder perform. Now the eyeshadows, I didn't expect them to be that sheer. They are illuminating eyeshadows. So if you're used to very highly pigmented and kind of dense eyeshadows, the kind of eyeshadows that are like Pat McGrath's formulations or Charlotte Tilbury's formulations that are really dense and with one swipe you can get full coverage. These eyeshadows are not like this. If you're using them with a brush, you cannot get much of a color, or you can get color, but not that much. The brown color is definitely a lot more pigmented than the other colors, but the other colors, if you want to get the full color, you have to use your fingertip and you have to dip your finger. And still the colors are not very dense. So they are, I would describe them as illuminating eyeshadows, if that makes sense. Illuminating eyeshadows because they feel a little bit like as if I'm using the Dior Backstage palettes on my eyes. I mean the Dior Backstage Glow Face palettes. The formulation is very interesting, but they look very nice on the eyes. I am very happy with the results. I'm very happy with the look that I created using these palettes. Now for me, I think that it was going to be better if these four colors were in a Les Quatre Ombres palette. I think that this was going to be absolutely beautiful because each of these retails for $36 US, which makes it quite an investment to get all four of them. And when you start combining them, I think that they look beautiful on the eyes. The good thing is that you can choose only one mono eyeshadow and use only one eyeshadow on the eyes. I think that this is going to be very elegant, very beautiful. Overall, I'm quite happy with this collection and I'm going to update you in one of my next videos, so be sure to subscribe and turn the notification bell on. I had some doubts about the illuminating blush powder. I was absolutely sure that this is not going to be for my skin tone, but it actually works quite nice. You can see that if you're light-handed, you can use it. I'm curious to see how these colors are going to look on medium to deeper skin tones, but since they are illuminating eyeshadows, I think that they are going to suit a lot of skin tones. And I'm going to give you a full review of this collection in a few days, once I get the chance to try all of the products properly and to play with them and to wear them. I'm going to give you a full review, but my initial thoughts, even if you have pale skin tone like me, if you're a Chanel lover and you want this illuminating blush powder, then go for it, you can use it. So that was all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to subscribe, give me thumbs up and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of this new 2020 holiday makeup collection of Chanel. I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!